You're quite right when you say the landscape is changing, and it's not just for our industry. The landscape is changing everywhere with the global economy, the way work is being done, the types of work we're doing for clients is very, very different to what it was 5 years ago. And what candidates are looking for now is they're looking for an experience. So they're not looking to join an organization and spend the rest of their career there. They're looking for what experience can one organization give me over another one. So when you look at the tech startups, it gives them the opportunity to grow things, it gives them the opportunity to build things. And when we look at our own industry, we really need to think about how we're positioning that. What's the narrative we're putting out there for these individuals that will look at us as a destination for their shorter career, and what they're going to gain from us and how they're going to grow. Our industry does give people quite a bit of responsibility early on. So, they're exposed to many aspects of the business, whether it be, I'm in media now, whether it's, the data and digital, whether it's the data and analytics piece. They do get that exposure and that growth and that learning, and learn how to apply it back to the client. As an example, we talk about bringing digital people in and assuming that the new generation coming in are all digital, but at the end of the day, they're digital consumers. And so what we do is help them take that knowledge and turn it into a message for the client, and then finally for the consumer. So the growth is there. It's not just about nowadays taking people out of the business and sending them on a development program for a week. It really is, what are the opportunities within the organization to grow and stretch an individual? At MEC we have a talent manifesto which I love. It's called Don't Just Live, Thrive. And what it's encouraging people to do is thrive and grow through your own unique passions. So I have an ambition which is to change the face of talent management within the industry and do it in a little bit of a disruptive way, and that's how I'm going to thrive in the organisation, by putting innovation into our talent practices. It is going to move more from just a media buying landscape, and it's going to become more about content and the conversations we're having with consumers, and it's going to demand for us to bring in more innovative, more creative and a different type of person than perhaps we've got within the walls right now. So we're just going to grow and we're going to expand, and I think you're going to see the lines blur a little bit between us and some of the traditional ad agencies, etc., as we become more of the content generators. We're partnering with LinkedIn to really look at how we drive both the attraction of employees that might not have considered our industry to begin with, but also the retention of people once they get through the doors. And with that comes the innovation. So we are really targeting people. I mean, it's what we do as a business. We target consumers. We're really using the data that LinkedIn can supply to us to target individual candidates through their platforms in order to get that conversation started. We're using other platforms such as Glassdoor as an example. I mean, anybody that's interviewing with an organisation is going to look on Glassdoor to see what employees are saying. So we're using our employees to generate that content for us and actively asking them to go onto these external platforms to talk about life at MEC. What does it mean? How do they feel about being there? And they themselves are building that employer brand for us. In terms of the types of people we're looking for, it's a very diverse slate of individuals. No longer is it just we need candidate X to fill X gap. It's really looking at what's the depth of talent out there. We need people who can create. We need people who have an entrepreneurial mindset. We need people who perhaps have a global outlook on the world as well. So as an example, we went to South by Southwest last weekend. We were at their job market, and that's the first time we've been there. And we chose South by Southwest because we knew it would have a rich, diverse traffic of candidates coming through and wanting to talk to us. And what we did, we used the opportunity to show the innovations that we're driving within the talent function. And we weren't hiring for Austin, we were hiring for New York, so we wanted to take candidates to New York. So we built 3 series of 360 virtual reality films. So candidates were able to put the goggles on and take themselves to the experience of being in MEC at New York. What's the culture like? Hearing from people like Shannon Reed, who's our regional head of digital, and just experience it on a very, very different level. What the LinkedIn study tells us, it gives us data. It's a starting point in terms of us actually pushing to the next level. I mean, there's no point in having that data and not doing anything with it. It's showing us where people are going. It's showing us at what stage of their life cycle they're moving to another organisation. And what we can do with that is have interventions at that point to say, well, this is when people are starting to think about leaving, and what are the conversations that we need to start to have with them at that point.